Let me start. Hi, everyone. It's Shirley Farrar, and this is Encouragement on Fire. So, this is our podcast number 72, and we are talking about ambition and well being. And so, I have a few little nuggets that I want to share with you today. I'm not going to be with you that long, but I want to be impactful in your life. Every time we talk, I want us to really discuss the things that truly matter for your life work balance. Remember, we're renewing our minds. We're renewing our minds. We're not going to stay with the old thinking of work life balance because that is not what we are called to. Right? Last time we talked about Exodus 20, verse 9, when it says on the Sabbath day, we are to do what? Rest, right? Rest. Good. I'm glad you're with me. Rest. And that is what we are going to do as we are moving through 2024. So I have a few scriptures that I'm going to share with you because you know I'm a faith-based person and I really enjoy giving you my foundation of what works for me. And so the first thing I want to do though is I want to talk about what is ambition because some of you may not even understand that you are ambitious. And what does that mean? That you're going to accomplish goals, you're going to put certain things in place. You have a certain timeline. You have a certain timeline of how things are going to go for you in life. And you could be a person that's just coming out of high school and you're getting ready to go to college, or you could be someone who is in college or someone who is in the working field. And you've made it up in your mind that by the age of 25, this is where I'm going to be. By the age of 32, this is where I'm going to be. By the age of 40, I'm going to be in these articles and these different things. By the age of 50, this is where I'm going to be. I'm going to be retired by this age, and this is how things is going to go in my life. But how many of you know that we plan our lives? That not may not be the plan that God has for us. That may not even be the plan that happens in your life. If you're not a person, a faith-based person, you believe that. So I'm saying to you, yes, is it good to plan? Absolutely. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. So absolutely. But there's some things that we have to do in order to get that plan. And I truly believe that we have to seek God. We have to seek God in our prayer, in your meditation, in your quiet time. You're going to be led to do certain things. But remember, there isn't a timeline. So you may put it on a calendar as a timeline, meaning this is a suggestion or this is what I'd like it to be. But if it doesn't happen, I don't want you to get crushed that this didn't happen for me and everything is off. That's not how it works. That's not how God works. We always pray, we give God that, okay, God, this is what I'd like to happen in my life. Um, but your will be done in my life. You have to be able to say that and do that. Let me give you two scriptures. The first scripture is in Psalm 127, verse 2. It says, "It is useless for you to work so hard from early morning until late at night, anxiously working for food to eat. For God gives rest." There it is again, "to his loved ones." Do you belong to God? Of course you do. And he gives you rest. So it's useless for you to work so hard. I know a lot of you are working so hard. I was even doing that myself. I was working so hard. Oh my goodness. Hours after hours. When I got home, my husband said, "Babe, you're working too much. You're working too much. You're bringing work home. You're doing all these things." And he said, "This is not even you." He said, "Yeah, you work hard, but usually you work hard for ministry purposes, and not that it's not important for you to do what you do at your job, but anytime you're getting sick." I was getting sick often. He was saying, "You got to count the cost. You have to count the cost. Is this what God has purpose for you to do?" There's some people, they can do that all day long, never get sick. But is it what God called you to do? And I had to really go to God in prayer about that and say, "God, is this what you called me to?" And anytime you're struggling where you are losing sleep, good sleep that you honestly needed, that may not be what God has for you. Okay. Um, and then there's another verse, Proverbs 23, verse 4. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Hmm. Be wise enough to know when to quit. Come on. I know a lot of you on here, even though you may not say it, everyone's thinking it. I just need to work another day. I need to work another year. I need to do this. I need to do that. How can I make more money? We're all thinking it in our minds, right? And there's ways to do that to be smart, right? About it, getting a financial planner, working on those things. But a lot of times we want something right now. I want it right now. Come on, we're of the microwave generation. I want my food right now. I don't want to wait 3 hours from now that it takes for me to prepare it on the stove. I want it right now. And so, because we have that mentality, we've been conditioned that we're willing to do sometimes things that are not conducive to provide you that quick increase. So let's look at that. If you're working a job, right, 40 hours a week, and you're working that job, you know 2 3 years, are you going to get rich quick? No, you're not. You're not going to get rich quick, because there is a set income that you're going to make every single year. Now, if you're taking that income and you're working with a financial planner, over time, that income will yield fruit for you. But it's not going to be a quick fix. So I don't want you to think that. I know we're thinking that in our minds. So when God tells us in his word, rest, that is exactly what we should be doing. I should be giving God his service, kingdom. I should be spending time with my family, right? And I should also be working on my community. And of course, only you, in your quiet time with God, when you're in prayer, he's going to help you to develop that. No one can really tell you how that looks. You have to know. And you know how you're going to know? Because it's going to come natural. It's going to come easier for you. If you are spending hours trying to figure out how are you going to fit all these things in 24 hours, or how can I do, something's off. Something's off. I was there, I'm telling you guys, a few years back, trying to fit all these things because this person told me I should be doing this. This person told me you should be doing that for your career. Doing all these things. And I'm not saying that they're not correct for someone who wanted those things that they were saying. But what I'm saying to you is, when you're in your quiet space and when you're praying, what are you saying to yourself? What is your desire? What is it you really want? Not what someone else wants for you. What is it that you really want? So, when we talk about well being, when you are ambitious, that means that I'm going to take care of myself. You can still be ambitious, but there is a life work balance. I still need to have good time management skills as I'm working towards this. And when I find myself going a little further to the left or a little further to the right, having accountability partners that will tell you, whether that is your family members, whether that is people in the community that you're working with and they see you all the time. When people start to say certain things and say, you look a little tired, you need a little rest, or you've been working a lot, you should take notice. Those are like trigger words and taking notice. But always having accountability people around you. Also, we need to define our values. You know, one of the most important things in life is a person's values, how you value yourself, how you value others. It, to me, it's saying how I respect myself, how I respect others, right? And we're going to have different values for our job. We're going to have different values when we are working with those in the community. We're going to have a different set of values when we're with our family, right? So they can be cultural, right? Come on, traditions that we have, all of those things matter. And when you find yourself that now I'm not even doing my cultural, things that matter to me anymore because I don't have time, that's a problem because that's the very core of who you are. When you find yourself changing who you are amongst others in your community or your job, simply because I have to bring an income in and I'm going to have to now adjust in these areas for a period of time, that's going to work. It's going to work for a period of time, but over some time, it's going to eat away at you and you're going to have to adjust. You're going to have to make some changes. And that's what I was saying, going back. Sometimes we have to go back and we have to, when we're not only, we're paying God his, but we're also paying for our future. What does that look like? How can you adjust? Maybe there's another career for you that's more suitable. And then setting realistic goals. Come on, smart goals. Everyone, you can look that up on the internet, smart goals. You want some goals that, even if you're ambitious or not, how can you constantly be working towards your goals of getting in the right career for yourself and getting in the right place, whether it's vacations, whether that is spending time with your family, whether that is being able to rest on the Sabbath day. How do you get back to that? Right. So for me, I have to say that I had to take some time and start to write on paper. I encourage you to write in a journal, draw a line down the center of that page and say, what are the things that are most valuable to me? What are the things that I can live without? And you're going to find that you may even surprise yourself that the things that you thought mattered don't even matter, especially if you have gone through sickness and disease. If your body has been affected, when your body has been affected, things that used to matter to you don't even matter. I remember times when I was so ambitious and I said, wow, I'm going to do this, A, B, C, D, and E. After going through what I went through, you know, not saying A, B, C, and D don't matter, but it's one of those things that if it's the will of God for my life, as I'm working to living my best life, and it comes, I'm appreciative and I'm thankful. But if it doesn't, while I'm living my best life, I'm going to be joyful and happy and excited. Like I'm excited to see you every single week, doing things that are meaningful, things that make a difference, you know, may never achieve whatever it is an A, B, C, and D looks like in my unrenewed mind. But in this new chapter for me, exactly what I see in front of me. And that's you, coming to you all the time, sharing some information, whether it's something I've learned or some others that have shared with me, and they've lived a life of learning experiences. And now I can share that with you. That matters, right? Speaking to my students, talking to them, helping them get from A to Z, right? Whether it's a repeat, they come back and I help them again, or whether that's in the ministry, whether someone is saying, I want to know more about God. I want to know, who is God? How do I live a life acceptable to the Lord? All those things matter to me. And being able to live in that moment, being able to live in that state, that brings me joy every day waking up. And I'm able to define that because I took time, wrote that little page and that little line down the page and said, where are my values and things I can live without? And you will begin to find that you can still be ambitious, still have a uh, you know, well balanced life work balance. Work on the things, your self care, those things that matter to you, and still get a lot achieved. So I'm going to stop for today. Next time we talk, we're going to talk about creating boundaries because I think that's really important, right? And we're going to talk about some other aspects of when you are, balancing that ambition and well being. How do you go about doing that? We're going to talk about it. Okay. All right. I'm Shirley Farrar. This is Encouragement on Fire. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.